Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Coming up this week, Disney rejects a magistrate's decision in its labor dispute with the Firefighters Union. The FAA approves Disney's request for the use of drones over the theme park, and Disney is testing out a new tracking system for custodial workers in the Magic Kingdom. Orlando Sentinel's business reporter Sandra Petticini is going to be joining us to talk more about that story. Also, a little later on, we're going to talk about this year's Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. All that coming up next. From the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida, this is the Diz Unplugged. This is the Diz Unplugged, episode 916 for the week of November 8th, 2016. The Diz Unplugged is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show, coming to you live from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends Teresa Eccles.
Hey.
Steve Porter.
Hello.
Ryno Clavin.
Hello.
Julie Martin.
Hey, y'all.
And producing this show for the first time.
Oof. Wait then, I've already seen an issue. There we go.
The lovely and talented Mr. Oliver Green.
Hello, everyone.
Just so everybody knows, John, Kevin, Craig, and Corey are all actually on their way to, I think it's Fort Lauderdale,
Yes.
to get on the new Harmony of the Seas, the Royal Caribbean's new ship. They're going to be covering that, and we'll be probably talking about that in one of the upcoming Dreams shows. But first, I want to say a special thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. You guys have been terrific with your support of our show. We've kind of blown away by it. And I know Oliver and Ryno are having a great time.
Oh, yeah.
Producing content.
That sounded insincere, but I meant, oh, yes. That sounds even worse. I don't know how to...
We actually have a funny little video to go up in the next few days or the next week of Steve playing.
Oh, you recorded that.
Oh, we were recording the whole thing.
Yeah.
Playing virtual a PlayStation 4 virtual reality, the VR. We had some fun with them. It's really cool when they can't see you, and you put them in like a scary game, and then you do stuff. It's a lot of fun.
We like to scare each other here. It's what we do.
So, yeah, it is becoming a theme.
Well, and Pete will say it too. Every time he comes in to say good morning in the morning now, he
jumps.
Scares me.
Because we've traumatized him by scaring him and recording that woman scream that he does when he's startled. So
I get nervous every time I come out of the bathroom now because I'm just scared Craig's going to be waiting there just to jump out at me. It's becoming a real problem, actually.
Well, it's part of my plan is to traumatize the staff. So also, I just want to remind everybody about the slate of upcoming shows that we have every Monday. DisUnplugged.com, the Dreams Unlimited Travel Show with John Magi, Tracy Heinrichs, and Kevin Close. And this coming Monday, we're going to be talking about the Disney Dream and our experience on board the Disney Dream. It was back in September. It's already a couple months now.
It's been 2 months.
Which, here's the Reader's Digest version. Amazing. Also, every Monday, DisUnplugged.com, the Disneyland edition of the Diz Unplugged with host Tom Bell and his team. On this week's show, Mary Jo Willie heads out to the California Science Center to check out the Science Behind Pixar exhibit. That sounds kind of cool.
That
sounds fun.
I saw it when it was in Boston last year, and
Oh, that's right.
I saw that she was doing that, so I think I might have enough video to make a little visual for people
it's like
too, so I'll try and get on that too.
It's like a moving exhibit?
No, yeah, it travels the...
Oh, that's
it was
cool.
It was in the Science Museum in Boston for a while, and now it's over there. So.
It's very cool.
Roadshow. Pixar Roadshow.
Yeah.
Exactly. Also, our newest, every Wednesday, our newest show, The Best and Worst of Walt Disney World. This coming Wednesday, 5 Don't Miss Things at Epcot. And I'm guessing, since that's the name, I'm guessing one of the Don't Miss Things is English class.
It's the format of the show. It makes it sound... my grasp on the English language is terrible anyway. But, yeah, the name of the show made the title sound strange. But, it's essentially 5 things not to miss at Epcot. There we go.
And then I believe starting next week we start doing a series of holiday shows
We
we just recorded. So
Nice.
talk about things what we love and don't love at Disney World for the holidays. So
Oh, that sounds fun.
that's every Wednesday, disunplugged.com. And of course, now normally every Thursday, the Universal Edition with Craig, Ryno, and Oliver. This Thursday, there will not be a show because Craig is just going to be getting back from that cruise I was telling you about and trying not to kill him if we can help it. So giving him that Thursday off. And of course, every Friday when he feels like it, Diz Pop with Ryno, Clavin, and other people. And what are you doing this week?
Well,
Hopefully.
I had a little bit of technical issues with last week, so I did a 40-minute show for myself that nobody got to see, but it was great for me. So, but
Admit it, you do that all the time anyway, right?
He does love him some Ryno.
I know.
Just a performance in your living room.
theater art for my corgis. But
Poor
this week
dogs.
it's going to
Okay,
be.
Queen Elizabeth.
I think it's gonna be. We did it for the Halloween. We did the our must watch list for Halloween, and I think it might be fun to kick that off really early. So do a must watch for the holiday season of our favorite like Disney, Universal. You know,
You're
anything
gonna
that you
include some
feel essential.
Thanksgiving movies, right?
Oh yeah, that's my goal. Is because I want to find the I feel like Thanksgiving movies are the untapped movie potential here at this holiday season. So I'll do my research. Yeah.
Good.
All right. So anything else in housekeeping? Anybody have anything? Want to plug the Welcome Center?
Oh, I do. Not the Welcome Center, but I have
I was going to let you run with that. Do it, Ryno. Yeah, everybody come out to the. We get a lot of visitors now. Almost every day, someone comes in. I know that sounds not like a lot, but it is a lot to me. Shut up, Ollie. You've never been, have you?
Hey, I want to go.
Do it.
Okay.
Step away from
Okay.
what you do and come visit me.
We'll do.
It's a busy hopping place, 6550 North Atlantic Avenue, Suite B, Cape Canaveral. We're there every day but Tuesday. Someone's there every day but Tuesday.
I'm going to visit on a Tuesday. That's what
You have fun with that.
I'll go with you. I've got a key. I can open up.
Oh, we changed the locks. No, we didn't. I'm kidding.
Hey, Ryno, you had something?
Oh yeah, I just want to say, we covered the first Christmas party last night, and it seems more and more these days people are coming up to us and saying thank you. Getting a lot of really strong feedback on people specifically saying, like, we listened to you to plan this, and we said we didn't do this specifically because of this. And I just want to give a shout out to some of the people that we saw last night. Erin and her mother, who I got to meet, who were very sweet. They met us all. There was a couple that wanted me to say hello to you that were from Indiana, and just a bunch of others. And it's just nice.
I don't speak to people from Indiana. I'm kidding.
He doesn't. Yeah. Indiana's out of the realm of Pete Warner approved states. We're up to 38. We're almost all 50, but no. So we just really appreciate you guys coming to say hello. It means a lot to get feedback because for us, we're just staring at this glass. We can't see you. You just see us. So it's nice to see the faces on the other side of the
Wow.
screen. The poltergeists on the other side.
So that's what I like about the Welcome Center. People come in and they think
Yeah.
they're going to see other people than just me, and they just get me. And sometimes they're disappointed. Most times I make them happy. You just missed Pete. Oh my gosh, he just left.
Hey, that's better than whenever I'm in the parks with Ryno recently. There's people that come up, oh, hi, Ryno. And then they're like, they just, okay, hi. Or the other day I saw someone wearing a Diz shirt. I said, oh, I love your shirt. And they said, oh, thanks. I said, okay, sounds good.
last night, somebody was
Unknown
like,
podcast
we
member.
love you, Ryno. And then Steve goes, it's Steve too.
It happened at the boathouse
Hey, guys,
as well.
Steve.
At the boathouse about a week ago, someone came up. They're like, "Oh, Ryno, hi, Ryno," and then he goes, "Oh, and I've got Oliver with me too." And they were like, "That's nice. Can you take the photo?" And I handed me the phone. Not that I'm upset, but they didn't even acknowledge. They were just like, "Oh, nice to see you. Here's the phone. Take a photo of me and Ryno." I was like, "Okay."
Oh, perfect. He can take the photo.
All right, so people start giving some love. Start giving some love to Steve and Ollie.
The guys need it too.
They're apparently very insecure about this. So, all right. Anything else in housekeeping?
No.
All right. Let's get started with the news. First story up. I want to talk about this great article that was released this weekend by our good friend Sandra Pedicini at the Orlando Sentinel, talking about Disney starting to track custodial workers in the Magic Kingdom. And now you guys have heard me go on and on and on about the bathrooms and the situation with the bathrooms. So this was an interesting development that says that Disney must be very well aware, and there must be a lot more complaints than just my crazy ass screaming about dirty bathrooms in Tomorrowland. So, Sandra, thank you so much for coming in. Are we unmuted?
We certainly are now.
Okay. How are you doing, Sandra?
Hi, Pete. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks for being with us. Now, I'll let you explain what this is, what this test is, and then I'm going to say what I think.
So this is a test that's going on right now in Tomorrowland at the Magic Kingdom. And what Disney is doing is they've got sensors in restrooms and on garbage cans. And so those sensors can tell when a certain number of people have come into the restroom, or they can tell when the garbage can is about 3/4 full. And at that point, the sensors say, aha, time for cleaning. And janitors are given iPhones. And basically, this automated system finds the nearest available janitor. And then the assignment comes up on their iPhone. It says, okay, time for you to go clean this area over here.
Now, are you hearing, this is a test, are you hearing anything about, do you think they're going to plan to expand this property-wide, or?
Well, if it's successful, I would imagine they would want to do that. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it would be a more efficient system for them, could probably save them some labor costs. And also, it's a better way to track when a restroom needs cleaning. And that has been an issue with some folks, including you.
Including me. That was one of the things that was brought up when we were talking about this over the weekend. How much of this is about them, wanting to make sure the bathrooms are clean, and how much of this is about cutting back on custodial costs? Because, we've seen them over the course of the last year really cut back on, we hear from cast members all the time that they can't get 40 hours. Full-time cast members can't get 40-hour weeks. We see them cutting back on entertainment, character experiences, cutting back in other areas. So, on one side, I'm thinking to myself, this could be good because maybe I won't walk into a war zone. I mean, there have been times, I said before, I wouldn't let my mother use a bathroom in Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland in particular seems to be, that's why I find it very interesting that it was Tomorrowland where they chose to do this test, because every time I've gone into a bathroom in Tomorrowland, I really had the urge to tweet out what I'm looking at if it wasn't going to be disgusting and creepy. So I think at one point we started telling people, start tweeting at Disney, your bathrooms are filthy, clean them.
Yeah. My concern is, so I think if you're going to do this to help clean the bathrooms, that's great. But how has the training of these custodial workers fallen so far? Because the bathrooms used to be fine. What happened that it's gotten to this point that we need to even do this?
Well, we said it the last time we were out in Disneyland, the difference in how clean Disneyland is versus the Magic Kingdom here.
Yeah.
Noticeably different. And so when we talk about sensors on the garbage cans in particular too, how many times have we seen those garbage cans full? How many times have we seen garbage put on top of the garbage cans because people can't get anything inside?
Yeah.
And this was never a problem before until I'd say the last couple of years is when it's really gotten, I noticed that it's really gotten bad. Sandra, have you gotten any feedback from people on what they think about this? Am I the only one who sees this as a problem, or?
Well, no, I think I've heard from other people who agree with you in your assessment of the state of the Disney restrooms. But mainly who I've heard from on this story has been the union representing the custodial workers. They have a lot of concerns about it. And one of their primary concerns is that the more senior employees don't get to pick their assignments anymore with the way this new system works. When you get to a certain level of seniority, you get to pick whether you want to be out in the public areas, out in the fresh air cleaning, or if you'd rather be in the restroom where there's not as many guests to deal with, and you don't have to lift heavy garbage cans. And, a lot of people have strong preferences either way. And with this new system, they're not really going to have a choice. In fact, some of the custodians went to Dan Cockerell's office on Halloween with a pumpkin that said, "Rest in peace, seniority," because they feel like that's a big part
wow. Wow.
Yeah, pretty clever. But they feel like that's a big part of their seniority that's getting taken away under this new system.
And it's not like Disney doesn't have other union problems. We're going to talk about that in a little bit with the firefighters right now. And,
With Reedy Creek, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a really.
I do want to say something on that note of seniority with the pumpkin. I do sympathize with that a lot because I worked there for quite some time, and it seemed like the point of you working there for so many years, is you earn this respect, you earn, you get first choice in this stuff, and yeah, that's what happens when you work at a job forever. And it seemed the longer I worked there, the less it mattered. So I can relate to that. The people being upset about the seniority thing. Disney has this habit of punishing everyone for some people's bad behavior.
Well, look, I'll stop you there. I am not convinced on any level that the issues inside the bathrooms at Disney are the fault of custodial. I blame management. I blame management for the number of custodial staff they have on. I blame management for the way that staff is trained, the way that staff is deployed.
Yeah.
So with something like this, maybe helping the deployment issue, but I think they probably need more custodial because when I see the park, as I said, we were just out in Disneyland in September and we were talking about it, that look how much cleaner.
It's like immaculate. Yeah.
It's immaculate. And granted, while our Magic Kingdom does see more foot traffic per year than the Disneyland park. It's after a certain point, it's all kind of academic. It's just a matter of you have a process in place to deal with millions of people coming through, and it's just a matter of staffing for it. And I think that has been the main issue. So I don't blame custodial. I put this squarely on the shoulders of management. Now, we'll see. We'll see if the pushback from the union is enough to derail this. Because it's going to create labor disputes. You don't think so?
I doubt it. Disney usually wins this type of stuff. I mean, I really just don't think that the unions are going to be able to tell Disney what to do on this. It just doesn't seem like it's something that affects the livelihood of the workers enough that they're going to fight Disney hard enough on.
Well, but do you think that,
if it was something about wages or healthcare or something like that, I think they would put up a stronger fight. But I think that this is going to die out quicker than people.
But we're in a period right now where Disney is flailing, looking for ways to regain advantage because of lower turnstiles. So do you think they're going to want even remote PR issues when it comes to, because what'll happen, they may not put up a fight. Maybe those bathrooms don't get cleaned maybe they get cleaned even worse than they have been. So I think it's incredibly interesting. Another story that I know you were dealing with this morning is SeaWorld's. I guess it's their fourth quarter earning, right? Or
third quarter.
Their third quarter. Okay, that's right. They have a different fiscal year than Disney does. So anything interesting?
It's just another not so great quarter for them in a string of not so great quarters. They said that they do see some positive signs there, that their seasonal passes have been selling really well. They feel like the problems that they've had with Brazilian visitation are starting to subside a little bit. They are going to be doing a lot of cost cutting, and they didn't really give many details as to what that's going to entail, although they made some pretty interesting comments about theming. And they said, we're opening more attractions with less money, and so really we want to concentrate on the ride rather than on the theming, which, I mean, when you look at Disney and Universal, and that's just a complete difference from their philosophies. And, all the big theme parks, really, they are theme parks. They focus a lot on immersion and making you feel like you're a part of a story. So that's going to be an interesting thing to watch, I think.
So you think that's a heads up that they're going to start moving away from that that it's a time-honored tradition here now. I mean, that everything is themed and everything has a story attached to it. That in an effort to draw in as many people as they can, they're just going to focus their money on the attractions. Because, I mean, look, it certainly costs a lot of money to build an attraction, but it also costs a lot of money to theme these things and create a certain look. But that was always one of the strongest suits I thought that SeaWorld had was.
Yeah. Yeah, and they are still doing theming. I mean, they're going to open a ride that has to do with Sea Rescue, their TV show. So they're not giving up on theming altogether, but it sounds like maybe they're scaling it back a little bit. And, when you've seen some of the business decisions that they've made recently, they're really acting more and more like a regional theme park, like a Six Flags. Just recently, they started a dining plan that's very similar to something Six Flags will do. And they've talked a little bit about how, they just can't compete with Disney and Universal. And so they're really pursuing some different strategies. And so rides that aren't as heavily themed, I think you'd see that more in a Six Flags than you would at a Disney or Universal.
Are you surprised how pervasive the damage from Blackfish was to SeaWorld?
I don't know if I was really surprised by it. By the time I took on the beat, Blackfish had been out there for quite a while, and I know people who watched that movie and were really very affected by it. So no, I'd say I wasn't really surprised by that.
I was.
I think SeaWorld was surprised. I think they had gotten complaints over the years from PETA and all those other groups, and I think they saw this as just one more piece of bad publicity that really wasn't going to have a lasting impact.
Well, it never had before, but the way it was done, the way it was marketed, and certainly with CNN behind it, I think if it had just been an independent documentary released on the film circuit, it would not have had the impact it had going on CNN and having CNN.
I think you're absolutely right. Yeah.
And I'm blown away by. I have my feelings on it. I won't get into it, but I'm blown away by the devastation in the wake of that documentary on SeaWorld. I mean, they have forced SeaWorld to completely change their business model, and so maybe who knows? Sometimes the most amazing things come out of disaster. So who knows? But I love SeaWorld. I'm really sad to see them struggling. I think they do a great job. I think it's a beautiful theme park, and I really hope that they manage to navigate this. But as you were saying, it's one quarter after another, really kind of depressive earnings numbers, and I just don't know how much longer they can sustain that before, they finally say, okay, we give up. I mean, I don't.
Well, and they've known that it's going to be a long road. Earlier this year, they said they weren't going to breed orcas anymore, and I think it's going to take a while for a turnaround. But they feel like they're starting to see signs that things are starting to stabilize for them.
Well, let's see. We'll see what happens. But Sandra, thank you so much for taking time to join us. It's been great having you on. One of these days, we got to have you here in the studio.
I'd like that.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Sandra. Talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye-bye. So, yeah. SeaWorld. SeaWorld and custodians. But since we were talking about the union, I thought that was an interesting angle on that. Another union story that caught my attention that really has me pissed off, I'll be honest with you, is a few months ago we talked about how a local magistrate had mediated this contract dispute that Disney's having with the firefighters union with Reedy Creek. What is that creaking?
It's Oliver's chair.
Oh.
It could be. I apologize.
Okay.
If it is.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those old chairs.
I'll stop moving.
Please. Just stand. Just stand for the hour. And that this magistrate had issued a ruling. It's a non-binding ruling that really pretty much agreed with everything the firefighters union was asking for. And before the ruling came down, the firefighters union had said, we will abide by whatever the magistrate rules. Disney did not make that statement. And on Friday, Disney issued a 16-page response to the ruling, basically saying, no, we're not going to go with this. So these guys have been working, guys and girls, men and women, have been working without a contract for the last 2 years. And what the union has been asking for in this, and I don't know, somebody check me if I'm wrong. I don't think any of this is unreasonable. They're asking for Disney to share some of the cost of health insurance increases. They're not asking Disney to pay for it. They're asking Disney to help share in the cost of health insurance increases. They're asking that their health screenings include tests for cancer. They're firefighters, not unreasonable, and that they receive a cost of living adjustment to their pay. They're not asking for double pay. They're asking for a cost of living adjustment, which, by the way, they have not had since 2008. Now, the magistrate that mediated this found those elements to be reasonable and came down on the side of the firefighters. Disney's attorney, in its 16-page response, said, quote, "It is clear from his recommendation that the special magistrate applied his own mistaken views to the bargaining process, that his views, quote, run afoul of the Florida Administration Code, and that he has, quote, notions of industrial justice." The company said that evidence that they presented is consistent with a workforce who believes emergency service personnel are already well compensated and appreciate their work environment. In other words, you've got it good, don't ask for anything. Their rejection, the union responded that their rejection is offensive not only to us in the process, but also to the magistrate. We both had the opportunity to present our case to an impartial person. We both reviewed the qualifications of a list of magistrates, and we both picked out Mr. Stokes, the magistrate that heard the case. And because he didn't side with the district, he must be some sort of zealot out for industrial justice. And that's exactly what this is. That's exactly what this is. And and this is a great quote from the union. I hadn't read this. "Most bullies think they are wonderful and that they really are not doing any harm to their victims. But I don't know of anyone who would be happy with an employer who withholds pay for almost 2 years, disregards the health and safety norms of their industry, and passes on the bulk of insurance premium increases to their employees." And it was just announced that insurance costs are going to be going up almost 40% for the firefighters. So here's the deal, and I said this in the Daily Fix yesterday, I'm going to say it again now. It is all well and good for any of us, but especially companies like Disney, to wave the flag and talk about how we love our first responders and we support our first responders, and then pull crap like this. It plays well, it's great PR, but pay them what they are worth. And this makes Disney look so bad. It just makes them look bad. And, you know, part of Disney's argument, if you read between the lines that the district is a great place to work and you're already well compensated, it's basically saying that because it's Disney, you don't really have to run into a lot of burning buildings and you really don't have a lot of this to do and that to do that other firefighters and other districts may have to deal with. But we were talking about this last week, about people with questionable motives looking to bring loaded weapons into the theme parks. And we were talking about the need for the added security, that Disney's going to be in a place where they have no choice eventually but to do that. And I think to myself, God forbid, but it's the world we live in. What if there was something far worse to happen on Disney property? Right? It's not out of the realm of possibility. We certainly hope it won't happen. And I certainly feel confident that Disney does everything in their power right now to prevent it. I think their security measures are amazing. But it's the world we live in. Who are the first people that are going to get called? Is it the executives? Are they the ones going to be running? Oh, hell no. No, it's these guys. These men and women who are going to be running into that like our heroes were on 9/11. Our good friend Jay Klauber, who was a New York City police officer and one of those crazy people running into those buildings to help save people. Saved his partner, got a medal from the governor of New York for doing it. Is this too much to ask? We ask these people to stand ready to do that. We ask police officers, firefighters, first responders, we ask them to stand ready to walk into the fires of hell, literally, in the event of a tragedy. And we're gonna not give them a cost of living increase. We're not gonna share the cost of their health insurance increases. We're not going to agree to cancer screenings for these guys. Really? A company that makes record profits every year? And then they wonder why the narrative is elitist? They wonder why they have this pushback from people saying it's getting too expensive? And it feels elitist. It feels like Disney has become for the 1%. They wonder why this narrative exists. And I'm not saying this is the cause, but this certainly doesn't help.
Okay, so somebody in the chat, I just want to bring this up, said something about you failed to discuss their current compensation, workload, and benefits packages are. So we have known, I myself, I'm not never worked for Reedy Creek or anything like that, but have worked for Disney, and as many people who have worked here have. And I have gone through several contract negotiations with them, and I have watched that the first place, whenever they need to scale in, that they look to cut money is how much they pay people and what the benefits are. And what really soured me is years ago, they they did this bait and switch situation where they said, okay, if you all sign this in this new, whatever constitution, whatever it is, we're going to give everyone $500 as a bonus in their paycheck. And everyone's like, well, $500, that's awesome. But if you do the math, they took down the percentage. It went from a 5% or a 4% raise to a 3% raise yearly. And then on top of that, they increased the amount of percentage you'd be paying out of your own pocket for health insurance. So if you actually did the math, you would be making 17 cents less on the dollar in 4 years.
Well, here's my response to that, though. I don't care what they're currently getting paid.
Yeah.
I don't care. I really don't. A cost of living increase is what they're asking for, and I think that's fair. Regardless of what their current level of compensation is, they have not had a cost of living increase in 8 years. They're entitled to that. It's all well and good for us to talk about how we support our first responders. We've got to put our money where our mouth is.
This is what I think about, like, why I said Disney plays by their own rules in the last segment with the custodial workers. If that's why I don't think that they'll do anything for the custodial workers, because they're not even doing anything for the firefighters.
That's a good point.
That's there's nothing really. I mean, maybe police officers would be about that. That's the only thing. I don't know. It just bugs me.
My brother's a firefighter. Granted, it's in Mississippi. It's not for Disney. But he works 2 jobs in order to support his family because he does not make enough money as a firefighter alone to support his family. And I wonder if that is the case for these guys. Did they work more than one job in order to support
That
themselves
I wouldn't know.
because of the fact they haven't had that cost of living raise in 8 years?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that seems very unreasonable.
It does seem unreasonable. And, look, I'll be the first to admit that, the New Jersey liberal in me is always going to come down on the side of a union. Generally speaking, I was raised in a union household. And I saw what contract negotiations were like for my father, especially during layoffs and things like that when they would go on strike. So it's something I'm sensitive to. But especially, I think for me, it changed after 9/11. It really changed after 9/11 when, realizing the reality of the world we live in and realizing what a target, in particular, Disney is. And here are these men and women who are signing up and saying, yep, we'll be the first in. That's worth something. So yeah, I don't care what they paid. I don't think we can pay them enough. I don't think we can pay cops enough. I don't think we can pay teachers enough. I don't think we can pay nurses enough for the work that they do. And so when they're asking for a cost of living increase, it would be one thing if they were asking for a $50,000 a year raise and, mani-pedis every 3 months. But they're asking for a cost of living increase, shared responsibility in the increases on health insurance. And, I'm sorry, and cancer screenings. For a company that posts the kind of profit Disney does, I think they can be a little bit more, work a little bit more with their firefighters. That's my opinion. You may disagree, and that's fine. But I'm right and you're wrong. So, all right, that is going to do it for the news. Thanks to Sandra Pedicini for joining us, by the way. It was great to have her on the show. We're going to move on to Rapid Fire, and we'll throw it over to the lovely and talented Ms. Teresa Atkins.
Hello. DisneyQuest, the indoor virtual theme park at Disney Springs, was originally set to close this year, but an exact closing date was never announced. It now looks like the space will remain open into 2017. According to the Orlando Sentinel, some employees recently received an email from Disney stating that DisneyQuest will be operating into 2017 with no closing date to mention. We will be running the operation as normal until we hear otherwise. When the closure was first announced in June of 2015, the NBA Experience was said to be taking over the building, bringing in new hands-on activities for families, a restaurant, and retail store. A Disney spokeswoman told the Sentinel that the NBA Experience is still planned for the site. Interesting.
I think they don't have anything to replace it.
Yeah.
And I think they're waiting until they have something to replace it.
Do people still go there?
I haven't been. I need to. I need to go and check it out because it's been a while. But I almost feel like, it's like the zombie attraction. It just won't die, or it is dead and it's still just walking around.
I went once in 2009, briefly, and I didn't. Then I thought it was outdated and boring, but
we should go do that.
I did it like a couple months ago.
Like a night, we could do like an overview, so we have a little history piece of it when it goes away. But I think it would be fun, like vlog or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I pulled a Ryno and I wasn't listening.
Julie.
I was trying to get my rapid fire
I was
up.
talking about handbags. What were you thinking?
All right, thank you, Teresa. Steve.
Okay. A woman was arrested at Disney's Grand Floridian after police attacking a police officer. Multiple police officers, excuse me. A woman was arrested at Disney's Grand Floridian earlier this week after kicking and spitting at police deputies. I cannot talk today, excuse me. Guests called the resort after they heard a woman screaming at 11 p.m. Security went to the room and found Virginia Viver, I'm not sure, 36 of South Africa. Her husband stated that she had been drinking all day and had become violent, shouting and throwing things at him. Or her, excuse me. So in an attempt to stop her, security was called. Security then called the Orange County Sheriff's deputy. And then when they came in, she basically just started attacking and spitting and kicking. So they basically brought her to the hospital and found that she had a blood alcohol level of 0.256.
Wow.
She's still standing.
So she was then, so she was charged with, there's a long list here. Battery on a security officer, battery for domestic violence, resisting an officer with violence, and attempting aggravated battery to a law enforcement officer. Ugh, that was a lot.
She's tripping.
0.265?
Yes.
That's like way over the limit.
Is that almost like...
That's almost 3 times the legal limit to drive.
0.08 is the
well,
limit
0.08,
right?
0.08, 0.10, depending. I forgot what they say. What is it, 0.30, 0.35, you're dead?
She's still moving and attacking people.
If you have... I don't know that this woman's an alcoholic. I can draw inferences. But when you drink a lot, your body develops a strong tolerance for it. So you are able, depending on how much you drink and for how long, you are able to sustain a blood alcohol level like that and still function on some level, but clearly...
Yeah, I mean, it's not a great photo of her, but she doesn't look like, like how you'd think a person would look with that amount of alcohol in their system.
She's kind of Oompa Loompa.
Well, I wonder if that was after she went to the hospital.
Oh, yeah, maybe they gave her an IV.
She looks tired. There has to be something, obviously, something else maybe in her system or something. I don't know.
No.
Or mental.
But
I don't know. Does she have kids?
I don't know.
It doesn't mention kids.
We don't know.
It doesn't mention kids, but I cannot imagine the scene at the Grand Floridian, though. I mean, you spend all that money to stay in the Grand Floridian, and then all of a sudden you got
domestic
a Jerry Springer event happening in the room next to you.
Like,
All right, thank you, Steve.
Just before you move on, apologies for those of you watching. You may have realised the slide says one title but shows a different photo, so I apologise for that.
Go back to that.
Things were going way too smoothly.
Oh, those must be the ones under her eyes?
Very clever. Very clever.
Boom, nailed it.
Yeah, so I know someone's going to point it out to me, so I apologise.
For those listening,
they did in the
you've got to come back. For those who are listening, you got to go look at the video at about the 40-minute mark. You'll see what we're talking about because that's kind of funny.
Did Ryno do that? I'm sorry. You
No,
would never do
that was all me, unfortunately.
This is Oliver's first time producing the Tuesday show.
Don't feel too bad. I've seen Craig do it once, so I'm okay
Craig's
with that.
done it. Craig's done it. All right. So, Ryno, what do you got?
I have some food-related things, because of why not. The menu for Tiana's place on board the reimagined Disney Wonder has been revealed, and it looks delicious.
I so want to go there.
Oh my God, I know. It says it's on the it's the New Orleans French Quarter Supper Club is inspired by the film The Princess and the Frog. Menu items will be versions of Louisiana specialties.
Louisiana, Ryno.
I don't
really?
know why I have trouble saying that.
Louisiana.
And the music will be reminiscent of Jazz Street party celebrations. Tiana's personal touch will be evident in the menu, the entertainment, and throughout every detail. But the list of food looks really good. Like there's the boudin sausage fritters. Boudin. I knew it. I was gonna say boudin.
Just let her read
I feel like
it.
we need to give Julia a ruler and she can hit you on the wrists.
There's, I mean, I don't want to read a ton of
The
it.
woman is from Louisiana, so she's...
Really, I
Read
probably should have.
more.
So she can correct you. Go ahead. I'm ready.
Cajun spiced sea bass on shrimp jambalaya with crisp fennel salad and remoulade. And there's Jamie's roasted pork tenderloin, sliced pork tenderloin with white rice and greens on an andouille sausage stew. Big Daddy's roasted prime rib of beef with a double baked potato, broccoli, sweet roasted
You
carrots.
enjoyed that.
We just went explicit.
Pork loin and
You enjoyed
prime
that.
rib
Big
are
Daddy.
not like Louisiana exclusive dishes.
Wow, they got to put something in
Charlotte
there.
LaBouffe, piccati pasta with pancetta, oyster mushrooms, eggplant, spinach, peas. It just seems very nice. It's got a lighter side as well. This is a lot for like one of the in rotation dining rooms. I feel like I'm impressed. And
What is this replacing? What is this replacing?
Menu, please.
the K, I forgot the name of it. I said it earlier
Kate
today.
Ray.
Parrot K.
Yeah, it's
Parrot
replacing
Cake,
Parrot
Yeah.
Cake.
Which I think this is a really good change.
Yeah.
Parrot Cake needed to go.
That was
totally
like
agree with
real.
that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, we got to review.
Well, I'm
that, I
excited.
think.
I'm excited to see all the details of the new the new
actual
rehab
restaurant.
Well, just of the rehab in
yeah.
general.
The ship,
'Cause
yeah.
every time Disney takes one of these ships out into dry dock, they do
There
amazing
better
things
be
with
a
it.
singing alligator in this restaurant. That's all I've got to say. He better play the trumpet.
Okay, Miss Julie's coming for you. All right, thank you, Ryno. Julie.
Okay, so there are going to be some new Dooney Bourke handbags released this
I'm so
month,
excited.
As in November 2016.
Right, like right now.
Yes, like right now. So as in like Friday, they're releasing the first ones. Well, actually, there are some holiday-themed bags that are being released on November 11th. Right now, you can get a villain-themed one. They're black and white and red, but they're only available in select locations in the parks. So the villain, you can get the tote, letter carrier, or a wristlet. And then on Friday, November 18th,
Tell
there's
us.
going to be a special release party at Cherry Tree Lane in the Marketplace Co-op at Disney Springs. There are going to be 2 handbag collections released. So one is the retro sticker collage, which... Oh, yeah. It's that one. Yes. Thank you, Teresa. She's my Price is Right hand.
Teresa, could you?
So that'll have the wristlet, a large letter carrier, and a tote. And then the Walt Disney World, is it Toile? That's the blue and
Tulle.
white one. Tulle. That's the blue and white one. You know, you've seen
It's
like,
pretty.
wallpaper that looks
Plates,
like
yeah.
that, plates, things like that. So it's
That's
kind of
pretty
a more
too.
old-fashioned style. They'll have the large letter carrier, a tote, and a hobo satchel.
Okay.
What? I like the hobo.
During this special
phrase.
event.
What is
on
that?
the-
Like a bag on a stick?
That's what I thought. Like it's the Dooney and Bourke
No.
stick collection.
It's more freeform. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, God. So
Get to the one I want.
Okay, so the special event being held on the 18th, you'll have a chance to meet Ian or Ian Ray, depending on if you're zeroing or not.
Ion.
The creative director for Dooney and Bourke from 10:30 to 12 p.m. And then the retro sticker collage collection will also be released on the 18th at Disneyland Resort. And then 2 additional collections, the ones that Teresa and I are the most
Tell us,
excited
tell
about.
us.
It's going to be on the Shop Disney Parks app, though, not
In the park?
As of right now, no.
Oh, okay.
So the first collection is the Princess Keys, but who cares about that?
You're right.
It's
Move
going to launch
on.
on November 14th, and then finally, the one we've all been waiting for, the cat-themed
I'm so excited.
collection, will be introduced on November 28th. So, Corey, if you're listening,
He's not.
He's not. Neither's my husband.
All right, so if
but-
anybody meets the creative director, do me a favor and tell him, come out with some more unisex stuff.
Seriously.
You know, some of these bags I would love, but I can't pull them off. They're just too feminine.
the key one could.
No.
it's pink.
It's a purse.
Well, they do
Got it.
have
Work
different
it,
ones.
Pete.
But
They need like a messenger, a crossbody messenger,
Yeah.
or something like that.
Like a laptop or a iPad one, you know,
Yeah.
a small one.
But
yeah.
no, the cat one is seriously
go back
definitely
and
my
talk about the
favorite.
cat one.
Okay,
Oh,
so you can
yeah.
see Marie on there. You can see all the other aristocrats.
Lucifer. I mean, oh
Lucifer.
my
You can see
gosh.
the Siamese cats from Lady and the Tramp, which
Oh,
are two of my
somebody
favorite
shoot me.
cats.
Yeah. Somebody
And now
needs
that
to-
I'm a cat lady too, I'm super excited.
I'm so excited for this.
That's right. You've joined the ranks of cat women.
Meow.
It's
Baby
awesome.
cat is sweet as pie.
I love cats. I love cats. I don't know what Abby would do with one though.
Oh, I think she'd love it.
She would lick
I
it
think you
to
should
death.
get
No,
one
she
and
would.
find out.
She would love it to
She
death.
would, no, she absolutely would. I
The
just
cat
don't,
would
like-
boss her around.
Oh, no question. No question.
For sure. So this is all very exciting. You can find out more on the Disney Parks blog, and hopefully we'll have the story up on our site soon enough.
So one of my children will have to go without a Christmas gift, so I can get that.
All right,
I choose Grace.
Thank you, Julie. Oliver,
Hello.
I am
Yes.
so done talking about Dooney Bourke.
My rapid fire. The Doctor Strange show meet and greet. You can now meet Doctor Strange at Hollywood Studios, which is very interesting because he's a Marvel character. So now open for a limited engagement at Disney's Hollywood Studios is a brand new show and meet and greet. It's similar to the Jedi Training Academy, with the main character in Marvel's new entry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Doctor Strange.
Now, you might want to explain to people
idea.
why it's interesting that a Marvel character is in a Disney theme.
Yes. So, of course, when when Disney purchased Marvel, they acquired Marvel with the current situation they have set up with Universal, meaning that Universal on this coast has the exclusive rights to Marvel characters. Now, from what I understand, it's the Marvel characters they had at that time. Any new Marvel characters, I believe Disney can use. Is that incorrect, Ryno?
No, because I think Guardians of the Galaxy and Doctor Strange have been around since before they did that. Because that purchase happened in the late 90s.
They weren't in the park, though.
Oh, yeah.
They weren't visibly in Universal, right?
Yeah, it's something where it's like a second tier characters they're allowed to use. So they were
Okay.
allowed to have Guardians for that Villains Unleashed party.
Sidekicks.
Yeah, that's true. They did have Guardians.
Yeah, so this isn't the first character to appear in this, but I
Yeah, this is how we felt about cat bags.
what's funny about this show is when you watch the video. I haven't seen the movie yet. I'm going tomorrow, I think. But the kids, like, it's all about magic. So he's got to like chant with the kids, but he says a lot of weird words, and none of the kids know what the words
Yeah.
are. So it's like, was it you?
I
telling
was
me
the one
this?
that recorded
Yeah,
it, so it's
made
like
me
he's
laugh.
like say ra ra ba da za da da, and like all the kids are like what like, what are we supposed to be saying?
So the movie's not out yet, or is it?
It came out
just
Friday, but I've
And this
had a
is
weekend.
who's
And it's doing incredibly well. It's
Yeah.
the 13th consecutive major hit
Yeah,
for Marvel Studios. And that beats Pixar's record.
I've heard.
And Doctor Strange is Cumberbatch, right?
Yeah, and they are saying it is getting rave reviews. It's doing really, really well. So this is going to be another blockbuster.
Yeah.
Pasty
out of
British
Marvel.
man.
And it just underscores the brilliance of this acquisition
Yeah.
by Bob Iger. It was an absolutely genius acquisition, along with Lucasfilm, that is just it's churning out cash for the company. Mm-hmm. So
Good. Give it to the firefighters.
yeah, really, show some love.
But
All right, thank you, Oliver. One other thing we want to talk about before we head off to watch the election returns is Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, which this year's event began last night. And I know that Oliver, Ryno, and Steve were there, along with Craig and Corey. I was not. I had other plans last night. But so I wanted to hear from you guys about it. But first, they have put together a little overview video of it that we're going to show you now.
Santa Claus is here.
Bells are ringing, children sing, Santa all is merry bright. Santa's coming tonight.
I thought I'd take a ride, and soon some friends of mine were seated by my side. Our ship was fierce and fast, but then to our surprise, the engines took a laser blast and looked like our demise.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Get your precious jingle bells and take them all away. Yeah, jingle bells, jingle all the way. There won't be no Christmas time forever and a day. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose,
Like a light bulb!
and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows.
Like a flashlight!
All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names.
Like Pinocchio!
They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer game.
Like my family!
It's no fine Santa, so Stitch be your Santa. Stitch bring joy and happiness to New Ohio.
Apologies. Oh, there we go.
I thought we had to wait.
No, you're good. No, not you. Teresa.
All right. Well, you should have been more specific. I'm
I
not
apologize.
telling everybody. Hold on. All right. Well, thank you for that, Ryno. I know Ryno
Thank
just
you.
finished that up right.
Yeah, that's
before
the fastest I have ever made a video. So
Finish that up right.
I actually
before we
thought
went
that was
on
one
the
of your
air.
best.
So tell me what you thought.
I love the Christmas party, and I just thought that there were some parts about this year's party that I didn't enjoy as much as last year's. For instance, I think it was a consensus that the new stage show is kind of a big disappointment. It was...
well, let's talk about that for a second, because it is like...
Well, tell us what the new stage show is.
Well, Oliver, do you want to tell?
Yeah, sure. So I was actually right up the front there for this brand new stage show. So this new stage show is it's a cluster of very interesting things. So it's using the Fab Five characters. You can see them go through wintry holiday style type of situations. Now let me just dress the scene for you. So all of the Fab Five come out there in their winter gear. And then Daisy, who actually I don't believe is part of the Fab Five, but Daisy is looking for Donald. And they decide that the best way to get hold of Donald Duck is by texting him. So, yeah, I know, it's
This
strange.
was kind of, yeah,
So,
you were telling me about this. This is kind of sad.
It's there's a whole song, a whole musical number about getting in touch with Donald Duck. And as you can see there, for those of you watching, they are actually holding up giant smartphones because during the number it's just I can't honestly I can't put it into words.
for them.
It was one of those where as I was watching it, my toes were curling. Now saying this, I didn't hate it. It just felt out of place and a bit weird. If I go back, I will 100% watch this. It's just strange. That's all. So it's very confusing. It's not at all what I was expecting. I'll just put it that way. It's different.
I think
very different.
It was It's a show where Disney tried to be cool, and when Disney tries to be hip and cool, it like never seems to work.
Feels out of place.
Yeah. And appealing to like the tween.
I just don't like the Snapchat reference because it immediately made me think that Mickey's out there like being inappropriate with filters and stuff like that. And
Whoa, Ryno!
What do you mean?
Don't
Does
drag
that happen
Mickey
on
Mouse down
Snapchat?
to your level. Mickey Mouse is way above your level.
I mean,
just
not that
because
everyone
you
uses it like that. Well, here's my thing. It's just they're referencing a app that I don't think is going to be around for forever. It's not like it was a Facebook reference.
Well, neither
or
will
anything
this
like that.
show.
I guess that's, well, knowing Disney, yes, it will. It'll be around for like 10, 20 more years.
But they're not talking about fax and letters and crap from years ago,
Yeah. Well,
technology that's not.
Yeah, because I think
don't
they
want
used
them
to be
do
more
that.
timeless, though.
right. That's
I don't want them to
that's
do
a valid
things like
point.
this because I didn't see it. I can just do what you guys have told me, but it needs to be more timeless.
It was just-
it doesn't need to be
Because they're trying to be hip, like Steve was saying, it comes off cheesy and kind of ingenuine, and like it's kind of like your stepdad that wants to be friends with you kind of wrote the show, so he doesn't really know what he's talking about, but he's
Yeah.
like, oh, we'll
Wow.
send them a text. Sorry, Jeff.
This happened in our house.
stepdad.
Stella sent my sister a picture, and she said, "How did you do that?" I did it on Instagram. What's Instagram, and where can I find it? And Stella said, "They have it at Publix." Okay.
So, all right. So you found the new stage show to be a little disappointing.
Disappointing.
But I did love, and again, food for me. They have this year, instead of it just being, for those of you who don't know, at the Halloween party they give out the candy. I enjoy that part of the Halloween party so much because you could take it home with you. The Christmas party, it's always just been snickerdoodles and hot chocolate, and I'm like, how many of those can you have?
So what is it
this
now?
year? There's a bunch of different stuff. So snickerdoodles and hot chocolate. There's an eggnog stop that you get ginger snap cookies with. Then there's a snow cone stop where you get these snowmen, like those
Sugar cookie.
the hard sugar cookies. Yeah, they're with like the colored sugar on top of
Sprinkles.
it. Yeah, sprinkles. There's the word. And then there was hot apple cider with this one was my favorite, the peppermint bark cookies.
Was it apple juice or apple cider?
It was
Two different things.
Okay, they liked it. I said it could use a little bit more hot water because it was a little thick.
No, I loved it.
Oh, that would have been cider then.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah,
actually
it was
is cider. It's
Yeah, it
not
was
apple
cider.
juice.
No. It was
Okay.
hot apple cider. Yeah.
Okay.
And so I liked that because I felt you got to do more.
That's a nice touch.
Yes.
that is
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Because I've always enjoyed the hot chocolate, which I'm looking forward to because we're going
yeah.
soon. But I hate snickerdoodles.
Well, and it also gives like,
like
a
mine, but
fun
it's-
journey to go around to the different stops because
Yeah.
you
It's not
can
the same
try to-
thing,
Right, you're not doing
yeah.
the same thing
Well,
over and
and
over
on,
again.
on that note there too, we encountered because there's people are doing the journey. The lines are a lot longer for all this stuff
Because
this
they're
year.
trying.
Yeah, before it was
Yeah.
just walk up and grab it, and we went to a few that we had to wait for a little bit. So,
Did
but
you
I
try
do
every
appreciate
single treat, Ryno, or not? Because I actually didn't manage to.
it. Yes.
And which one was your favourite?
The peppermint bark, and I will always say eggnog because I love eggnog, but I also really enjoyed the hot
I
apple
like
cider.
eggnog.
No.
You don't like
Well,
eggnog?
It
Nothing to do
depends.
with eggs.
Depends on how it's made. It's
Yeah.
It's the
I had to be
Florida
in a mood for
favorite,
it.
the TG Lee or whatever that
It'll be
one
chilly.
is.
I've
The one
never
that's
had it
here. We
before.
don't have that in the north, but
Not because the TG Lee Dairy is like in downtown Orlando.
it's like, yeah.
oh, okay. That makes sense then. But that I appreciated that. For me, I always think I like the Halloween party a little bit more better. Or, I don't know.
Oh, really?
It's just
You like it mo better?
Mo better.
Mo better.
Mo better.
Why? Because you
Mo
like
costumes,
Halloween?
mo problems.
The costumes and stuff? All the, all
Yeah.
the dressing up?
I do miss that aspect of it because I feel like because this was the first one and it was early on, I didn't see a ton of people with like Christmas sweaters or it's Florida.
yeah, it's
Christmas
90
shirts,
degrees
whatever.
outside.
But you know what? This is the way to
wore my Grinch
start
shirt.
off the season. Right?
Yep.
I agree.
This is the way that begins for me.
That, I
Yeah.
will say it does capture that like that Christmas spirit very well. Like I felt incredibly
Yeah.
festive considering it's pretty early in November still.
Right.
I loved it. I'd even go as far to say, and I do love Halloween, but I'd even go as far to say that I probably prefer this to the
do too.
Halloween party. Really? Why do you prefer it, Steve?
I prefer
Like-
it because in Florida, I find it hard to get in the Christmassy spirit with it being
Yes.
so
I
warm
agree.
here.
Yeah.
So these parties and like when they used to have Osborne lights and all the little things that Disney does can get me in that Christmas
A little bit of
mood.
snow,
Yeah.
fake as it may be, it's still
Right.
there. Yeah.
So
Put you
I
in the
I never have a
mood.
problem. But I grew up in Louisiana. It doesn't snow there.
Yeah.
We have warm Thanksgivings and warm Christmases.
Right.
So Yeah, no different from
I think for those of us who grew up in the Northeast.
Yeah,
It's a big one.
Or the Midwest.
Definitely,
That's what you want.
I
yeah.
will say, standing on the street, on Main Street, is definitely a highlight for sure. When they make it snow there, it's not like light snow.
And the
it's a
Christmas
flurry.
music. Come on, bring it on.
Yeah, no. I enjoyed the
Gingerbread.
party.
I mean, you guys see my dining room right now. It's full of Christmas lights.
Yeah. Well, this will actually be the newest, largest
have this
Christmas
house
attraction in Orlando.
By next, well, this is the first year I'm decorating the outside. But by next weekend, I'll have the whole house. I always have the house decorated before Thanksgiving.
Oh, I do too.
I like
for
to do it
anyone.
just because I like to enjoy it for a longer
Yeah.
period
Right.
of time.
I do too.
Finley already said, I just don't like when we have to take it all down. We don't have anything up yet.
I know, right?
She's already
It's like
disappointed about
already. I was buying lights last night. I found the girls want lights in their rooms, and I'm all excited.
We
I'm
bought
ready.
Christmas reindeer antlers at Target, and we wore them all over the store before we bought them.
Yeah.
So how about parade and fireworks?
The parade's great.
The parade's great. I think
Is it different or is it the same?
same. I like the marching drummer guys.
Yeah.
That's like the iconic.
The toy soldiers.
Toy soldiers, drummer guys.
They're always my favorite. It's just I love the sound of them moving, and I always think that they look really
You
cool
could hear
during the
them,
march.
kinda,
And
yeah.
It's just iconic.
And
then-
Santa. Come on, Santa in the sleigh.
Yeah.
And Merry Christmas. They always have Santa's really good. They
I
always
like
get the Santa.
The Santa.
I also like how in the weird characters come out for the holiday parades. Like you see like Clarabelle Cow or like the weird ones that you never get to see for the rest of the year. That's kind of
She
fun.
is not weird. She's
but
just rare.
We should point out that she is very featured in the party this year, though, because she's a centerpiece in the show. As Steve said, someone commented and called her Mariah Carey because she sings "All I Want for Christmas" during the show.
Oh, that's wrong.
I have to give credit to the commenter that my fiance saw, and then she told me that joke, so I have to give credit to the commenter.
Wow.
Wasn't my joke.
Well, how about the fireworks? Same fireworks as usual?
Same fireworks as
Which are
usual.
amazing.
Super amazing. They have the 180, not the 360, but they have the 180 fireworks. And I like this soundtrack so much because it has like the perfect soundtrack or perfect blend of the emotional Christmas music and like the cheery Christmas music that like it's perfect.
The emotional and cheery because you can't cross over the two. Some of emotional stuff's cheery. You mean the upbeat, Christmassy?
Yeah.
That's not regular Christmas.
Yeah.
Now,
It's Disney Christmas.
So let me ask you a question. This year, prices are being yielded. I think it's not the first year, but prices are being yielded. The closer you get to Christmas, the more expensive this gets. So $86 a ticket on the low end, $99 a ticket on the high end.
Wow.
So this is the last year that this party will be under $100 on peak days. Next year, I guarantee this is going to be $102, $105 on those peak days. So let's ask the question. $86 per person. Worth it?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know.
It depends what you're looking for, I'd say. So whenever you visit any of these events, the Halloween party, the Christmas party, people go in there wanting different things. So there's some people that want to go in there and use it almost like a
Park day.
one big fast pass essentially to ride a lot of attractions, and then it's just nice. The other stuff's a bonus. In that instant, I'd say it's very much worth it because all of the attractions I've seen were walk on. They really were. There was barely any wait whatsoever. If you're going in for the event itself, it's pushing it. The snacks were a nice touch, but you're not going to eat your own body weight in, cookies, are you, to cover the cost, really? So, and the entertainment is very good, but it's only the new stage show, so it's very repetitive.
What about the attractions? I mean, you get to...
Yeah, that's a huge part.
It's a huge plus.
And you have to remember, like, not everyone covers it the way that we do when they actually go. Like, they don't have to see every little thing.
Right,
where
yeah.
we're forcing ourselves to watch something like Tomorrowland Christmas Show, which is really targeted towards little kids.
I love
And
the
we waited an
Tomorrowland
hour.
Christmas show.
We waited an hour, over an hour for the parade. That I don't think you needed to do because when we were walking out, we could have just stopped anywhere
The
and watched
young
the
at
parade. Or
heart.
not walking out. I was
How
there
about
till
merchandise?
like 1 in the morning.
Any merchandise I can only get then?
There was some park exclusive merchandise. There was a pin that was for annual pass holders, I believe.
There's a annual pass holder one, I believe, yes. And then they have like a whole box set that's like $120 for like 5 pins.
Yeah, all I could think I was like, if Pete was here right
And
now,
they have like
Pete's
a
language.
party exclusive one pin.
Right.
And
They had a V-neck shirt this year. That was
V-neck
nice.
shirt,
Oh,
and then there's a
yeah.
green and a
nice.
red shirt.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
None
good.
of the the stuff really excited me necessarily. It looks like they're sticking with that same kind of logo they've used the last like 3 years or so. I feel like that that Mickey the sleigh and the Pluto and the thing, which I like, but
I think the party tickets are well worth it for
even at $86.
Even at $86, I'd pay $100, and I'm going to because I'm taking Stella. And maybe Grace.
What is it you want to see, though, when you go? That's what I'd ask. What is it you go for? Because
the atmosphere, the decorations, the fake snow, the music. It just kind of. I'm already listening to Christmas music.
If that's your only ticket, like you're like, okay, we're not going to go to the Magic Kingdom for this one day, because you can get in at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock. So it was open till midnight last night, and I was there till 12:45. So you have at least 8 hours, and let's say you're going to spend 4 of that doing the other stuff. So it's 4 hours to kind of walk on the ride. I mean, if you're like, that's my only thing I'm going to do, and I'm not going to go to the park as well, yeah.
Well, that's we always say to people that with these parties, do one less day than you were planning on your park hopper.
Yeah.
And so save yourself a little bit of money there, and then make that your Magic Kingdom day. You're getting all this extra stuff, and you're getting access to the rides with much shorter lines than what you're going to see on an average day. So I think you get to do more, you get more entertainment, and I think it's a trade-off. But I think that's what I always say to people is just like, if you're going to get a 5-day park hopper, and you want to spend one day at the Magic Kingdom, get a 4-day and do this.
Yeah.
And you have this special experience you can't get normally. So that's my thought anyway.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I
concur.
So you gonna head back again? Gonna do it again?
I mean,
if I'm not paying for it,
I probably will.
I'm not paying for it. Are you going back again?
No. If Michaela were to visit, which she's not for this party, but if for the Halloween party, I would go again when she came. But I wouldn't go just by myself or something. But I would go if she were here.
See, I would go to the Halloween party with Eli again. I try to do it every other year with him. And
poor Eli, so deprived.
I get out of here. I don't know. I think we did the Christmas party one year, and it's just not for us because we live here. That Christmas parade is the regular parade 2 weeks of Christmas. So if he wants to see the parade, we'll come see the parade.
But you have to keep in mind when they're doing that Christmas parade at Christmas time, it's a different experience. I know it's the same parade, but wherever you are on that parade route, it's rammed. You are not going to get a good view unless you camp out and wait there. So
that's what I'm saying is that's the difference of me giving a local perspective at this point in my life. Now,
nope. Here's my local perspective. I've already got it planned out. We're gonna have lunch at Disney Springs, do Christmas shopping until it's time to go to the party, and then we're going to the party, and then.
Sounds like a fun day.
Doesn't that sound like fun?
Yeah.
We go straight
what
from
about
school.
you? If I'm not paying for it, are you going to spend $86 to go to that party?
I probably will, yes. I will go back with my husband and experience it. 'Cause it's a nice atmosphere, and it's one of those, it's kind of romantic almost, and you get filled with that Christmas spirit.
I have great memories of that party, too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's really good. I think the entertainment is as strange as that new show is, and it is strange. Go and watch it on YouTube. It's on our YouTube channel. youtube.com/wdwinfo. We've got it all up.
We've got a lot of videos up from this year's Christmas party. So
in fact, I believe everything's up right now.
Awesome.
So you can get the fireworks, you can get the stage shows. Go over youtube.com/wdwinfo. It's all there. Go and check it out.
All right. That is going to do it for our show for this week. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be back with you again next Tuesday with another edition of the Diz Unplugged. Thanks for being with us, everyone, and remember, go out and vote, because if you don't, you got to sit down and shut up for 4 years, okay?